Hi there, my name's Scott, the Northwest UK Tech Geek. I just want to first of all apologise for not recording for a few weeks. I've been ill, but I'm back on track now. Also, I've had a few assessments as well, and starting another module in the middle. So it has been really busy for me. So what I want to talk to you today is about my results first of all. So in the last video blog, I did in the last episode, I did actually give you the results, but I'll give you my results this time. Just bear 1 second. Assignment scores, yeah. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll give you my scores anyway, in case you missed it on the last video. So ICMA 41, which is my first interactive computer marked assignment, that was 85%. And on the last video, I just submitted my TMA 01, which is a tutor marked assessment. I have got that back, and that is 83%. So I'm really happy with that. Now I'm working on I have submitted my ICMA 42, which and I'm in the middle of working on my TMA 02. This is all for my maths module, MU 123. So I'm just a bit nervous about that because they've really stepped up the mark very quickly into things like statistics, things that I never even knew existed within mathematics. Things like factor trees, inner quartile range, upper quartile range, lower quartile range. It's just, the list goes on. So it's been a lot of learning for me and a lot of stressing, to be honest. But yeah, that's what I've been doing lately. I've also been preparing for my next module start, which is Introduction to Technology, and that's TM 111. So when looking at my TM 111, I looked at the second section, the 3 blocks in, sorry, that's 4, 3 blocks in TM 111. The first block is about technology around us. Second block is about coding, and I don't know what the third block is about, but I'll have a look at some point and I'll let you know in a later episode. But yeah, but the second block is coding. Now, I was really worried about coding in the past. I always have been, and I felt scared. Excuse me. But what I have done is I've tried in the past to learn coding, but and then failed and gave up. But I found a website that was able to educate me, which is a rarity. Now, what I've done, I'll post a link in the description. The website is freecodecamp.org. That's freecodecamp.org. They are fantastic at providing education for aspiring developers and coders. I couldn't recommend them high enough. Now, so what they do, just to list a few certifications, free certifications that they offer, is responsive web design certification, JavaScript algorithms, data structures, front-end development libraries, the list goes on. You can do Python, information security, machine learning. You know what I mean? The really up-to-date qualifications as well. Another one is they also offer a free professional certification with Microsoft for C+ as well. So that's fantastic news. And there's lots of other different tips like interview tips and things like that that you can go on and look at as well. What I've done is my certification that I'm going through at the moment is a responsive web design certification. And do you know what? So far, I haven't provided a demonstration on my channel. So here it is, guys, your first demonstration. So what I'm going to do is, because it's a coding task, you need an interface or a program in order to start coding. Now, the one that I use is VS Code, or the one I'm using now is VS Code. It's by Microsoft, and if you've got a Microsoft account, get one, and it's free of charge for that as well. And if because you need to sign in to to save things, and also it's really handy as well if you get a GitHub account as well. So if I'll put them links in the description. So GitHub and GitHub, freeCodeCamp and VS Code. I'll provide all the links for them in the description below. So anyway, so when we start coding, there are I need to give you a bit of background first before we start coding, so you can understand how, what I'm doing. Okay. So now you can see it's so HTML and CSS. Right, so HTML stands for Hyperlinked Text Markup Language. Now, when we're working with HTML, what you have to do on your first line is you need to have a tag. It always starts with a tag. That basically defines what you're writing. Okay, and most tags have a closing tag. So H1, that is a header tag, so header number 1. So that the number represents the size of the tag. So that's the biggest tag you can have, and H2 is the next one down, and 3, and so on and so forth. P is paragraph. T is title. Now this relates to the title of the document, the metadata, what's going on behind the scenes, rather than an actual title. But you can add your own title, but normally you'd have that under H1 or H2, a header title. Okay. Then you've got your body. Sorry, your head is basically what goes on behind the scenes, normally. Your body is your content, and the footer is like a footer of a web page. Also, just let you know that most tags do close, and the way to close that is by a / in front of the actual tag itself. But some tags self-close, like the break tag. Now, what the break tag does is it puts a new line in your document in your page, and the reason why it puts a new line is because if you press enter on your keyboard and start writing again, it doesn't go on to the next line. It carries on writing on that same line, if that makes sense. So you have to put a break tag in order for it to go onto a new line. So if you wanted 2 paragraphs, there'd be like a couple of break tags just to separate the text. Also, today we will be working with the image tag as well, and that is also self-closing. So you do not need to put a closing tag at the end of that one as well. Okay. The next language we're working with as part of the web design certification is CSS. Now, what CSS stands for is the cascading sheet style. The reason why we use CSS or sheet styles is because if you just write a massive website, it'll just be all left aligned with no style. It would look boring. Okay, so you have to add things like font color, where font style. You can have a background color to the website. You can you can center align your text, left align, right align. There's lots of different things you can do, but this is all put in your style sheet. Okay, so on to our coding. It started now, so I'll edit this bit out. Right. Let me just bring it up first. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to bring up VS Code that we showed you before. Here we go. When you open up VS Code, this is what you'll be presented with. Now, what we need to do is create 2 documents. The first document is a HTML document, and the second document is a CSS document. To do that, we need to press the new file button, and we need to basically label it index.html. Index files are often your primary HTML file within your repository. Okay, the next one is to make the writing. You need to make the writing stylish, basically. So what we do is we write a style sheet. Okay, there's our 2 sheets. Okay, and obviously we've got our rabbits 1 to 4 there as well. Okay, so what we need to do then is when we open up a an index file, we need to specify to that index file what sort of document we are writing. So what we're going to do is it's a document called doctype, a tag, sorry, called doctype. So if we enter that in now, there, and there we go. It's already specified that it is going to be a HTML file as well. Okay, the next element that we need to put in there is a HTML tag. Because what a HTML tag does is it can specify the language that we're writing in. So English, for example. So let me just put language equals English. There we go. Okay, let's just close that off. And it's a HTML, not a HTLE. HTML, delete. And I will redo that on this side as well. Okay, so and spelling is really important when it comes to code writing as well. So let's have a look at that now. So I'm just going to correct myself there. I don't believe. No, it is closing. But what we do, HTML tags is a close. You do need a closing tag, but there's going to be a lot of coding in between them. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to enter the head of our coding file. Now, what the head does is it basically tells the computer or the web page or the program that you're trying to run it on that this is the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. This is not your, not your document itself. Okay. So now, obviously, when it comes to writing code, we need to use what we call a character set. Okay, so and it is standard across the board normally. So this is the standard character set. So it's meta character set equals UTF -8. Okay, so that is your character set. After that, we need to put a title of the title. Okay, so what a title does is it tells the metadata, not the actual title within our document. So YouTube demo. There we go. Now that is your title. Now we're just going to work on the HTML code for now, but eventually we're going to enter some styling. Now, when we enter our styling, we need to basically reference the style sheet. You know, the style sheet that we just created, we need to reference that. So what we need to do, just to let you know, there are 3 types of styling that you can do. You can do inline, you can do or external. We're not going to do inline because standard practice is that you do an external style sheet, because if you've got one style for a whole set of pages, it's best just to reference one style sheet rather than having to write the style sheet in every single code. So let's just write the reference to that now. So if we go open that up with a link, oh, there it is. It's already done it for us. Okay, tab. There we go. What we also need to add, I've just remembered, if you just bear with me 1 second, I'm going to pause that bit. Okay, so what we need to do is there's another meta element that we need to add into our header, and it's called a viewport. Now, what a viewport does is, say for example, we're writing this at the moment. I'm writing this at the moment on a desktop computer. Now, what if we wanted to view the document on a mobile phone or a tablet? Well, what viewport does, it enables you that to be displayed on them other devices as well. So what we need to do then is let's get that viewport in there. So it's a meta tag. Excuse me. Meta tag. It's already there for us. So name. And then what we do is open brackets. Equals viewport. And this is a great thing about VS Code, is that it will automatically fill out your code for you if you will let it. And that is actually correct information that we need. So content equals width equals device minus width, and then the initial scale is 1.0. That is what we want. Okay. Right. Now, we don't need any other scripts in our head document, okay? Thank God, that's all we need. So what we then do is this is where we start writing our code. This is the actual content. So what we do is I am going to add a div tag. Okay. Now what a div tag is, it's like a separator, a divider tag. Okay. As you see, it's automatically closed it. So let's just enter that a few times. And we're just going to put two headers in. Okay. So we're going to put YouTube. Oh, excuse me. So we're going to put YouTube. Let's go for header 1 on that one. So header 1. And it's automatically closed it again. So we're going to put YouTube. Let me spell that correctly. Otherwise, I'll have YouTube on my back. Demo. Okay. Right. The next tag that we use earlier on, I mentioned about the different types of headers, where the header 1 is the biggest, and the header 2 is the next one down, and then header 3, and so on and so forth. So what we're going to do is I'm going to then write in another header. So if we go H2. Okay, and then close tag. There, it's closed it automatically. And I'm going to put, this is my YouTube demo. Okay. Now, what we're then going to do, that is one section. Yeah. And I'm going to give that a class. Now, what classes do is later on, you'll see in style sheets, is we can then target that particular section. So if we give that a class of header. Yeah. Right. So next, we're going to create another section. So let's create another divider section. So div, and I'm going to put in here, we're going to give this another a class as well. This is going to be our first content. Yeah. So hold on a second. So class, hold on a second. There's a reason why I want to enter two lots of content. It's just so you can see the style sheets later on. So equals, no, class first. Equals top section of the document. And then we're going to create another one just so it's already done for us. So let's have another divider. And then we're going to give that a class of bottom. Bear in mind, the classes, you can name them whatever you want. It's just a referencing tool mainly. So, right, so here we go. So let's write in the top section. This is where you can't just start writing within the divider sections. You need to still say that it is a paragraph. So if we open up with a paragraph tag, sorry, and there, close it, and I put, this is my YouTube demo, and I am showing my viewers how to write in HTML. Oh, 1 second. HTML. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do on the next class is my bottom class. Is I'm going to then open up with another paragraph tag, and I am going to write, I will also be showing my viewers the language of CSS. There you go. There's our two sections of our content. Okay. Right, so bear with me. Actually, I'm going to put in another class as well. It doesn't matter about the classes and everything. I'll give that a separate name of rabbits, for example, because I did say we're going to put some rabbits in, didn't I? So here we go, divider. I'm going to give that a class of rabbits. So rabbits, yeah. And then there we go. So it's automatically closed it there. And what I'm going to do now, because I know for a fact that is going to be our last section, I am going to delete until we get that HTML back up there, because that closes the whole document then. Okay. So let's have a look. So to enter an image, excuse me, what you need to do is open up with an IMG. Yeah. Okay. Enter. Right, now what an IMG does is the syntax for an IMG is you need to type in the tag, then you need to specify its source. Okay. After that, we then need to enter an alternative text. The reason for this is people who are blind can then they use screen readers, and what a screen reader does is it looks at the picture, but it looks at the alternative text and describes what's in the picture. Okay, and that is why we enter alternative text. So we can then put source. Hold on a second. Is equal to. Now we've got say rabbit1 JPEG. So let's write that there. Rabbit1. Oh, there it is. It's lifted up, which is brilliant. I love this program. Then what we're going to do is enter our alternative text. So ALT. Okay, in brackets, and then we're going to put in. Let's see what that rabbit1 photo looks like. So it's 4 rabbits in a row. So that's what we're literally going to write. Okay. So let's alternative text is 4 rabbits in a row. Okay. Then what we need to do is we need to close that off. Now, if you notice, when I close this off, every single tag that I've done previously has automatically entered another closing tag. If you notice, this one hasn't done it. There's a reason behind that, is because an image tag is self-closing. You do not need to put a closing tag. Okay. What we are going to do is going to give these rabbits a title. So we're going to put H3 tag. And what that H3 tag is going to go, pictures of rabbits. Okay. Now, we are then going to put in another image, and it will be, again, if we write that out, so I open up the tag, IMG source is equal to rabbit2. There we go. So if we click on it, rabbit2 even, let's have a look at it. So it's 3 rabbits in a row. So there's 3 there. Yeah, so that's what we're going to write. So it's going to be rabbit, there you go, rabbit2. And then we are then going to put alternative text is going to be 3 rabbits. Hold on a second. Bits in a row. Okay. Now we then close it off, and then the next image, IMG source src equals r, and it should say 3 rabbits there. Yeah, brilliant. Alternative text. I haven't looked at that 3 rabbits yet. Well, let's have a look what it says. It looks like one parent. I need to write, bear in mind with alternative description, you need to try and be as descriptive as possible. So I'm going to make this one very descriptive. So one parent rabbit in the middle with 2 children rabbits on the left and 2 children rabbits on the right. So this is what I'm literally going to write. So one parent rabbit in the middle with 4 baby rabbits. The parent has two rabbits, children rabbits, sorry, on each side. Yeah. Now that is a quite descriptive alternative text, but you can go into great lengths on describing the picture if you really wanted to as well. So anyway, let's go on to that fourth and final image. So open the tag, img src equals rabbit 4. What does that rabbit 4 look like? That's 3. Oh no, that isn't a rabbit. That's a cat, isn't it? Yes. Oh, okay. So 2 rabbits and a cat. That's what I'm going to put. Okay. For our description. So here we go. Rabbit 4. Alternative text is equal to 2 rabbits and it's actually a kitten, I think. So that's what I'm going to put. 2 rabbits and a kitten. Okay. Now that is the HTML document finished. Right. Now, you know when I mentioned earlier that without styling, it looks absolutely boring. Okay. Let me just present that to you then. So if we go live, that's what it looks like. Okay. So it says YouTube demo. This is my YouTube demo. I've spelled pictures. Okay, I'll alter that in a moment. Okay, so and these are 2 statements in the 2 separate sections with 4 images of rabbits and a cat. Right. What we're going to do now is we're going to put some color. We're going to centerize this. We're going to do bits and bobs on this as well. Okay. Let me just now share my screen because I've just realized I didn't show that. Okay, now that we've finished our HTML, you will realize that the HTML code on its own is quite boring with 4 images of rabbits and a cat. So let me just show you. So remember our live server that we entered. That if you look down on your bottom right hand side, it says go live, click to run live server. So I will click that now. And this is what it comes up with. Okay. So this is our HTML code without any styling. Okay. It's quite boring, but we are going to be entering some styles in there now. So let's go to the style sheet. Right. So also we need to keep our HTML up because we need to find out what we're going to be targeting. So we are going to have, let's think, we're going to have the whole of the header centralized, aren't we? Centralized text. So let's start with the header class. So that is a class because a class equals header. So now on a style sheet, to enter a class, you put a full stop first, okay? And then you enter your class. So this will be the header. In order to specify what we're doing, we do curly brackets, open and close, and then enter, okay? We are then going to do text align. Okay, and it's there, look, already there, center. Now, one thing you must do on the style sheet is put a semicolon at the end. It basically says that there's a new instruction coming, okay? Also, on that header, we are going to put a background color, okay? Now, please note, the word color is the Americanized version of color, so it's C-O-L-O-R. There's no U, okay? So what we need to do is write background color. There it is, it's already there. And then what I want to do is tell you about the different types of ways that you can look at colors, okay? So the first one, I'm just going to go to a website and just type in color picker, Yeah. So what a color picker will do is, look, there's already a tool here. This is on Bing. And these are two, well, the third, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. You've got hexadecimal colors. You also have RGB, which stands for red, green, and blue. Okay. Now, to get a value of a color, if we just let's say I particularly like this sort of color, really. So right, so let's get the hexadecimal of that. So if we copy that, go to our style sheet, and we're just going to paste. Okay, that will then give us that color background. Yeah, brilliant. The type of color that you want to do is, because we're going to do the text color as well. So it's font. No, it might be text color. Just bear with, because I'm learning as well, so you have to bear with me. Oh, it's just color, isn't it? So color is, let's go. So you can either choose from, what they say. So it's like name a color, you get green, and then just click that and it's done. But the other way of doing it is RGB. So RGB. Okay, let me just delete them values because we're not using them. And basically, the syntax is a number followed by a comma, followed by a color, followed by a comma, and then another color, close brackets. Okay, so it ends up like this. Right, so each color, each section here is, this section here is the red section, this section here is a green, and this is the blue. Okay, that's what it means. And it goes up from 0 to 255. So let's say, I'm just going to pick a random color now. So let's go, actually, we're going to make the color white. And I think the color for white is 0, 0, 0. Okay, so let's just put that out. I may be wrong. In fact, I may be wrong, actually. It is 255, 255, followed by 255. Yes. Yes, so that is the color for white. Okay. Remember that semicolon at the end. And then, yeah, that is our header. Shall we test if that works? So what we need to do is save it, go back to our thing, and there we go. So we can see that it's a purple background, white writing, and it's both been center aligned. Okay. So the next item we need to target, let's have a look at our index sheet. Let's target the top section, okay? The top section. By the way, we are targeting classes, but what you can do is just target, for example, anything with a paragraph or anything with a header 1 or 2 or 3. You don't have to go with classes. But the way you do that is, instead of writing a dot, whatever it is for the class, you just ignore the dot. So let's have a look. I'm going to change that as well. There we go. Right, so let's do the top section, okay? So if we put the class we need to target is top. And then right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go, we're going to go with, we're not going to do text align or anything to do with the text itself or the size or anything, because what I want to do is I want to show you another feature as well. So the top section is going to be color. And I'm just going to pick one of these. So the color of the text is going to be blue. And the background color is going to be, I'm going to put wheat. Okay. So it's just an off-white, basically. If we go to our next one, so just to quickly do that for you. So the next one is the bottom section, I believe. Let's have a look. No, I'm going to look at the wrong thing now. Let's have a look. Bottom, and what's the other one? Rabbits. Okay. So what I need to do is go with I'm targeting the bottom. So dot bottom, and then we're going to go. So I'm just going to go with color. It's going to be what we're going to have a look. Let's have a look. We're going to have name a color, any color, bottom. Actually, let's have white because we can then choose a really funky color for its background. So let's go white. Smoke. That's what's coming up. So that's what we'll do. Then we're going to go with background color of. Let's have a look. Let's have. So if we go back to our color picker, let's have a really good, funky, dark color for that. I believe is it dark color? Yes. We're going to go with a nice dark green. I reckon something like that. So let's choose the hexadecimal values, and then V, and then colon. There we go. And then last but not least, we don't need to target our rabbit section. I don't think so. But what we are going to do is we are going to target our individual non-class sections of the HTML document. So if you notice here, we've got paragraph and we've got header 1. Have we got any others? We've got header 2 as well and a header 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to target these, okay? So what we're going to do, where are we? So go to our style sheet, and we're going, as I said, we're going to target header 1, okay? And then space, open, and then enter, and then I'm going to write the next one now quickly. Header 2, and then space, open, curly, right, okay. And then what we're going to do is target our header 3, H3, where's header 3? There we are. And then final bit we're going to target is our paragraph section. Right, so we've got our targeted done. If you notice, I haven't put a full stop because it isn't a class, it's a text element. So header 1, we are going to put in there, header 1 is going to have a font, no, font size, size is going to be, let's have a think, 30 px. Okay, 30 pixels. Okay, then also we need to put a little bit smaller for header 2. So let's put that in. Font size is, say, 28 pixels. And then header 3 needs to be smaller still because it is the third header. And that will be font size, let's say 25. Okay. Now that is that. And then also we need to do a paragraph. Font size will be 20. Now that is basically styling for you. Okay. Now let's have a look at our webpage. So our webpage now looks a bit more styled, doesn't it? Now, if you've noticed, in the beginning of the style sheet, we made our background of the header class purple, and we also made sure that the writing was white, okay? Now, if we go down, we've got, I know it doesn't look like it and you can't see it, but that is wheat white, okay, the background of this area here. And then the writing, we made sure it was black. We also said that the background for this section is going to be green and the writing white. And then we've also styled this as well. Okay, so H1, we've said that it's going to be 30 pixels. This one is a little bit smaller. Yep, that looks smaller. And this one is even smaller still. Yes. So therefore, we have styled our document. Okay. Now that is all for my for this week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing one next week because it is in the middle of the week and I do have an assessment, but in 2 weeks' time, there will be definitely another video uploaded. Apologies again for not, uploading before, but hopefully see you again soon. Thank you.